stop. Before you reach for another explanation, before you tell yourself, again, I'm just stressed, take one small inventory of your body. Feel your bones. Is there a weight you didn't have a year ago? Listen, is there a low, persistent hum in your ears that nothing seems to stop? Do your nights carry vivid dreams, sudden sweats, or a heat that travels up your spine and leaves you trembling with a kind of holy exhaustion? If these things sound familiar, listen to this sentence once and hold it steady. This isn't stress or disease. Edgar Cayce warned about the activation of new DNA, and the pattern many people are describing now fits a larger, unusual shift. You are not crazy. You are not simply anxious. You are not necessarily broken. Many people who reach this point feel dismissed by well-meaning doctors and friends because standard tests come back normal, and yet your lived experience is loud, persistent, and life-altering. That is why I want to name these sensations clearly, honor them, and then offer practical, safe ways to care for yourself while we explore a broader context that some find meaningful. If this resonates, like and subscribe so you don't walk this process alone. People who find themselves in this place tend to report clusters of symptoms that keep showing up across different ages, backgrounds, and health histories. I'll map these for you in a way that helps you recognize patterns instead of inventing pathology where there may be transformation. On the physical level, deep bone-level fatigue that sleep doesn't fully resolve, nights broken by sudden sweats, heart palpitations that spike without a clear trigger, digestive shifts and new sensitivities to foods that never bothered you before. Some feel an internal heat or pressure that moves up the spine, sometimes described as fire rising or a kundalini surge. Tinnitus-like ringing in the ears or a high-pitched tone is common. Others notice heightened sensory sensitivity. Light, sound, tastes feel intensified. On the neurological and cognitive level, brain fog that makes simple tasks feel like wading through honey. Short-term memory gaps, a dissonant clarity and confusion that arrive in waves. Lucid, symbolic dreaming becomes more frequent. Some report spontaneous insights or downloads of information that feel like they come from somewhere else. Sleep patterns shift. Vivid dreams, waking earlier, or deep restorative sleep that still leaves you physically weary. On the emotional level, waves of grief, rage, or sorrow that appear unmoored from current events, old memories resurfacing with a force that feels like cellular purge. Periods of sudden joy or intense compassion can flip into isolation and hypersensitivity to relational friction. Many experience a changing tolerance for certain people or environments. What once felt cozy now feels energetically costly. On the social level, a sense of subtle or explicit separation, the separation of the wheat and the chaff, as Cayce phrased it, where you find yourself drifting away from old friendships and gravitating toward people who vibrate differently. There can be a profound sense of loneliness paired with an urgency to find your tribe. On the dietary level, new intolerances appear. Previously neutral foods trigger digestive upset or brain fog. Cravings can change overnight. Some find they metabolize foods differently, tolerating lighter, more plant-forward choices and struggling with heavy processed fare. Hear me, these are not excuses, they are patterns. The way the body expresses change can look messy and alarming when we expect neat pathology. Across these experiences there are common threads, a sensation of being rebuilt, of parts rearranging, of old toxins and emotions reaching for release. Now, how do we explain this without falling into either naive mysticism or reductive materialism? Two lines of framing run in parallel and can be held together. One is metaphysical and historical. The other draws from contemporary observations and hypotheses in science. Both are offered as ways of understanding, not as dogma. A century ago, Edgar Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, spoke of a long arc of human evolution that would culminate in changes to human consciousness and even human physiology. He used phrases like the fifth root race to describe a future expression of humanity that would have different capacities and different vulnerabilities than we do now. Whether you take Cayce literally or symbolically, his readings capture the experience of people who feel they are undergoing a profound shift in how they relate to the world and to their own bodies. At the same time, some contemporary observations suggest the planet and our cellular environment are not static. Researchers and hobbyist instrument teams have tracked variations in the Schumann resonance, the very low-frequency waves that some describe as the Earth's heartbeat, and others point to cycles of solar activity, geomagnetic shifts, and increased cosmic input. These are measured phenomena. Their interpretations vary. Some propose that when planetary frequencies change, organisms living on the planet, whose tissues are responsive to electromagnetic fields, could respond in subtle ways. That response might show up as shifts in sleep, mood, and autonomic regulation. In parallel, the field of epigenetics has shown that DNA is not a static script, but a dynamic interface. Genes can be switched on or off based on environment, stress, diet, and other inputs. When people speak of activating DNA in this context, it's not a claim that we will instantly become a new species. Rather, it's a metaphor, grounded in an observed fact, that parts of our genome can be expressed differently over time. Some hypothesize that sections once considered junk or non-coding DNA may have regulatory roles we don't fully understand. Again, these are active areas of research and significant debate, and any bridge from epigenetics to metaphysical claims is speculative. Use the word hypothesis, not certainty. Combine these threads and you get a working picture that people report. Shifts in the planet's energetic environment, coupled with epigenetic responsiveness, might contribute to a period of embodied recalibration. For many, that recalibration looks like the symptoms we described. For others, nothing dramatic happens. The key is to hold the possibility gently and then tend to your body. Let's turn now to specific symptoms and practical micro-practices you can use in the moment. For each symptom, I'll name a concise hypothesis of what could be happening and then offer an immediate, low-risk practice to help you feel steadier. If deep, bone-level fatigue is your main complaint, one reasonable hypothesis is that your nervous system has shifted into a state of high repair demand. Cellular systems are busy, inflammation pathways are modulating, and sleep architecture may be altered. Micro-practice. Hydrate with intention. Warm water with a squeeze of lemon in the morning and consistent sipping through the day. Add a pinch of unrefined sea salt or a splash of coconut water to support electrolytes if you feel lightheaded. Notice your urine color as a simple marker. Pale straw is a rough sign of adequate hydration. Rest in chunks. Shorter naps of 20 to 40 minutes can refresh without disrupting nocturnal sleep. And invite movement that is restorative rather than strenuous. Gentle walking, stretching, or slow yoga for 10 to 20 minutes. If you hear ringing or high-frequency tones, tinnitus-like hum, one way to think about it is as an energetic retuning of sensory thresholds. Some people label this cosmic dial tuning the body's acoustic channels. Micro-practice. Reduce auditory clutter for a time. Use earplugs in overstimulating environments. Spend 10 to 15 minutes in silence each day. Try listening to low-frequency grounding music. Very soft droning tones in the 40 to 60 hertz area can feel stabilizing to some individuals, though responses will vary. If you have persistent or worsening hearing changes, consult an audiologist. If sudden heart flutters occur, they can be terrifying and they require careful attention. Hypothesis: shifts in autonomic tone, sympathetic and parasympathetic balance can produce intermittent palpitations. Micropractice: slow-paced breathing, 6 breaths per minute. Inhale 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds, for 3 to 5 minutes, paying attention to the sensation of the breath in your chest. Put cold water on your face or splash your wrist with cool water to engage the mammalian diving reflex, which can calm arrhythmias. Importantly, if you experience chest pain, fainting, or prolonged palpitations, seek immediate medical attention.
This is not the place to guess about safety. If vivid symbolic dreams and sudden insights are filling your nights, think of your subconscious as trying to process and integrate material quickly. Micropractice: keep a dream journal. Before sleep, set a simple intention. If anything needs to be seen, show me one clear image. When you wake, write one sentence about the dominant impression. Over time, patterns will emerge, and writing helps the nervous system integrate rather than recycle the intensity. If your digestion is shifting, new intolerances, bloating, or fluctuating appetite, the gut is often a first responder to any systemic recalibration. Hypothesis: microbial populations could be adjusting, or the body may be signaling a need for simpler fuel. Micropractice: start a 3-day reset of simple, nourishing foods. Steamed greens, bone broth or vegetable broth, cooked root vegetables, and probiotic-rich foods like plain yogurt or sauerkraut if tolerated. Avoid large quantities of caffeine and alcohol for a week and notice the difference. If symptoms are severe or prolonged, consult a gastroenterologist. If you feel heat or pressure moving up your spine, experiences some describe as energetic awakening or kundalini, you are likely encountering energetic release that can feel physical. Micropractice: ground your energy with the body. Place both feet on the ground, feel the inside of your feet and the contact points, and breathe downward into your pelvis. Slow, intentional movement, walking barefoot, qigong, or gentle spinal rolls can help redistribute energy so it doesn't sit in the chest and throat. Across these micro-practices, one constant is hydration and electrolyte support. The body undergoing change often needs more reliable internal fluidity to move toxins and support cellular processes. Hydration is not a magic cure, but it's a non-negotiable foundation. Aim to sip water consistently. Add mineral support through high-quality sea salt, mineral drops, or natural electrolyte beverages. If you have kidney disease or are on medications that require fluid control, discuss hydration strategies with your clinician. A few short, anonymized reports from people I've spoken with may help you feel less alone. One person in her 30s described months of near-crippling fatigue, a new sensitivity to nighttime light, and an inner pressure that made her want to withdraw from friends. Her lab tests were fine, and yet when she shifted her diet to more cooked greens and added daily barefoot time on her backyard grass, she said within 6 weeks she had clearer sleep cycles and fewer panic spikes. Another person, a father in his 50s, reported sudden bursts of lucid dreaming and a persistent high-pitched tone in his ears. Adding 2 20-minute sessions of silent breath work a day and cutting back on evening screens reduced his anxiety about the experiences, even while they continued.
A third report, an artist who had lifelong digestive sensitivities suddenly found legumes and dairy causing new bloating. After 2 weeks of a simplified, plant-rich rotation diet and a weekly castor oil pack, her digestion felt more regular. These are anecdotes, not controlled data. They are offered to help you map possibility, not promise outcome. Now, let's move into a deeper set of practices, an ordered, practical toolkit I invite you to try over the coming weeks. Each item is intended to be complementary to medical care, not a replacement. Begin with hydration and electrolytes. The rationale is simple. Fluids carry nutrients, clear cellular waste, and support neuronal firing. Habitual mild dehydration stresses the nervous system and can exaggerate symptoms. Practical guide. Begin your day with a warm glass of water with lemon. Sip water regularly rather than gulping large amounts at once. If you experience lightheadedness, dizziness, or muscle cramps, consider adding a pinch of unrefined sea salt or a natural electrolyte mix without excess sugar. Coconut water can be a gentle, natural source of potassium. Monitor your urine color as suggested earlier. A consistently dark color may indicate inadequate hydration. If you have a heart or kidney condition, consult your clinician before increasing fluid or salt. Grounding. Why it helps? Direct contact with the earth can normalize electrical charge in the body and calm the nervous system. This is a low-risk, high-return practice for many. How to do it? Spend 15 to 30 minutes daily with bare feet on natural ground, grass, sand, soil, or stone. If you live in a city without easy green spaces, find a park or a rooftop garden. Alternatives: sit with your hands on raw wooden surfaces or use grounding mats as a temporary proxy. Results vary. As you ground, focus on slow, diaphragmatic breath and feel the subtle release of tension from your limbs into the earth. Castor oil packs. A classic physical ritual that combines topical therapy and warmth to support internal circulation and lymphatic flow. How to do? Warm a small amount of organic castor oil, do not overheat, and saturate a soft cloth. Lie down, place the cloth over your lower abdomen or liver area, cover with plastic to protect bedding, and place a heating pad or hot water bottle over the cloth for 30 to 60 minutes. Do this 2 to 3 times a week. Afterward, wash the skin and the cloth. Safety notes. Do not use castor oil packs during pregnancy, on broken skin, or if you have specific allergies. If you have a medical condition or are on medication, discuss with your healthcare provider. Castor oil packs are a traditional practice. Evidence for systemic effects is limited, but many report feeling eased digestive and menstrual discomfort after months of consistent use. Alkaline forward diet, 80-20. Food is both fuel and signal.
If your body is recalibrating, reducing inflammatory processed foods while emphasizing mineral-dense plants may make the process more tolerable. Practical approach. Aim for about 80% of your meals to be whole plant-forward foods, leafy greens, cucumbers, celery, steamed cruciferous vegetables, roots, fresh herbs, avocados, and moderate amounts of high-quality protein. Favor foods that tend to produce an alkaline ash in the body. Lemons, despite their acidic taste, leafy greens, and certain fruits. Keep 20% for comfort foods and social meals so you don't trigger diet rigidity. Avoid chronic high sugar, excessive alcohol, and highly processed fats. Listen to your body. If certain whole foods trigger symptoms, rotate them out and retest after a few weeks. Meditation and silence. The nervous system needs space to integrate intense internal shifts. Suggested practice. Start with 2 daily sessions of 10 to 20 minutes. For beginners, 5 to 10 minutes of breath awareness twice a day is an excellent beginning. A simple practice. Sit with a soft focus. Count your breath to 5 on the inhale and 5 on the exhale. And when thoughts arise, label them gently. Thinking,
and return to the breath. For those more experienced, a 20-30-minute practice of open awareness, allowing sensations to move through the body without identifying with them, can accelerate emotional processing. Consider silent retreats or single-day silence once every month, if your schedule allows. Radical surrender. This is as much psychological as spiritual. Surrender here means choosing acceptance of what is present without collapsing into passivity. One concrete method is to adopt a daily phrase that anchors you. I receive what I need to learn. I release what no longer serves me. Repeat this phrase in the morning and before bed. Journaling prompts that support surrender. What in me is asking to be released? What would fear-free rest look like today? Where am I resisting this change? Answer in short bursts, 3 to 5 lines, and allow yourself to burn, bury, or store the pages as ritual completion. When putting these practices together, think of them as a mosaic rather than a strict checklist. Hydration and grounding are foundations. Castor oil packs and diet shifts are supportive practices with varying personal results. Meditation and surrender cultivate the inner landscape that helps your nervous system feel safer to change. There will be social consequences as you undergo these shifts. Old friendships may feel energetically costly. Work environments that once suited you might now feel exhausting. This social thinning can be painful and feels like loss. Grief is appropriate. Tools to navigate it: set clear boundaries gently. Practice a short script for emotional distancing. I need some quiet time to process right now. This isn't about you. And use journaling to name the loss.
Place a notebook by your side, and when the timer rings, spend 5 minutes writing one dream fragment or emotional image you recall. Repeat this sequence 3 times a week for a month and notice changes in sleep and digestion. You are not alone in this. Many who travel this road describe a gradual thinning of the outer noise and a deepening of inner clarity. They speak of a heart-centeredness that grows as the frantic survival wiring softens. Cayce's longer-term vision imagined a humanity that communicates more openly from the heart, that values vibration and subtlety over brute force. Whether you interpret that futurism literally or symbolically, the practical effect for many is a reorientation toward presence, community, and a gentler pace of living. Community is vital. If you feel the loneliness of separation, reach out in small ways. Post a clear, simple comment on a trusted forum describing one symptom. No therapy, no diagnosis, just honest observation. Invite people to say "me too" if they resonate. Build micro-communities of 2 to 5 people who can check in with each other weekly. If you seek professional support, look for practitioners who combine somatic therapy, functional medicine, or integrative approaches with an open, non-pathological stance. Before I close, a practical list to jot down and keep handy. Drink water with lemon, add a pinch of sea salt if needed, practice grounding barefoot 15 minutes daily, try a castor oil pack 2 to 3 times weekly if it's safe for you, aim for an 80-20 alkaline-forward diet, meditate twice daily, starting with 5 to 20 minutes, adopt a surrender phrase and journal nightly, and consult a medical professional if you experience severe or worsening symptoms. If you want suggested readings to deepen your understanding, look for an approachable Cayce biography to understand his historical context, introductory articles on the Schumann resonance and its contested interpretations, reputable overviews of epigenetics in human health, and books on somatic practices and nervous system regulation. I'll point to a short list in the description. Share this with someone who is waking up and feeling alone in their experience, and leave a comment describing what you're noticing, what symptom brought you here, which practice feels possible for you to try this week. Connecting with others is part of the medicine.
If you are in pain, frightened by new symptoms, or unsure whether something is urgent, please get professional medical advice. This content is informational and experiential, not a medical directive. If you experience severe symptoms, consult a healthcare professional. May you find tenderness for your body as it moves through whatever it is doing. May you be held by small rituals that calm and steady. May you meet a few true companions on the path, people who can witness what you are going through without judgment.
The world is changing in many ways, some visible, some subtle, and within that change there is both challenge and possibility. Walk gently, test what helps, protect your health, keep curious. In the next conversation, we'll look at specific breath work and nervous system protocols that many people find stabilizing during intense energetic shifts. Simple, evidence-aligned methods you can use in 5 minutes when symptoms spike. For now, rest, hydrate, and remember, you are not alone.